Welcome to English Stories, where captivating tale becomes your pathway to English mastery. Immerse yourself in enchanting narratives designed to enhance your vocabulary and conversation skill. With our carefully crafted collection, learning English becomes enjoyable and effective. Mystery, romance, adventure, fantasy, we have stories for every taste and levels. Join our community of English learners where each story is a stepping stone to fluent conversation. Subscribe now and let the magic of English stories transform your English language journey. Friend, this is really a nice story that you will certainly enjoy. At the end of the video, very important vocabulary is given. Vocabulary will certainly add value in your English learning journey. Now let's go through this interesting English story. Many years ago, Amateurish was ruled over by King Vikram. As he was a wise king, he did not believe all that his flattering courtiers told him. He wanted to find out for himself the views of the people over whom he ruled. To do this, he would dress himself up as a peddler or a sadhu or a musician and wander about his kingdom unknown to anyone. He especially loved to play on the flute, and his playing was so good that it earned him many meals and also some money from good people who were pleased with his music. At the same time, the king also learned that his people thought about him and of the way in which he ruled. One day, the king was walking through a wood in disguise. As usual, he heard someone playing on a flute. The playing was amateurish but had a native magic about it. Vikram went in the direction of the music and found a goatherd sitting on a rock playing away. The king quietly sat down and waited for him to finish his tune. Then he went up to the lad and marveled at his handsome face and body. "Son," said Vikram, "if you come with me to Amravati, I will give you good food, fine clothes, and a good job." The boy, who loved adventure, readily agreed to go with the king. Vikram ordered that the goatherd Sambu was to be lodged in his palace and to be given good food, clothing, and schooling. The quick-witted boy surprised his teachers with the rapid progress he made in his studies. When they sent his progress reports to the king, he was very pleased. After the period of his schooling was over, Sambu went on a vacation to his own town. Rather village, he walked along the old forest path and up and down the hillsides, playing on his flute. When his friend asked him about his life at court, Sambu would reply, "Friends, there is nothing like being a goatherd," but his friends thought that Sambu was kidding them. After his vacation was over, Sambu returned to Amravati. It so happened that the post of the king's treasurer had fallen vacant. While he was away, the king immediately appointed Sambu to the post. Sambu was so hardworking and methodical in his work that Vikram was greatly pleased with him. After some time, the king died and his son Manoj came to the throne. The king's officers had always been jealous of the goatherd who had become treasurer, and now that he was friendless on account of the old king's death, they waited for an opportunity to do him an ill turn. They carried tales about the young treasurer to the new king. Manoj could not ignore the warnings of his aged officers. He wanted to find out for himself the truth of the charges against the treasurer. The conspirators approached the king. "Your Majesty, ask the treasurer to show you the diamond-studded sword that your great-grandfather had made." The king commanded his treasurer to bring the sword to him. Sambu did as he was ordered. "Many victories to your Majesty," said Sambu. The diamonds on the hilt of the sword were used in making some jewels for Her Majesty, the Queen's mother, upon the orders given by His Majesty, your father. It was easy for Sambu to produce records of the transaction. The king then turned to the conspirators and said, "Sambu seems to be an honest man." The chief minister said, "One last request, your Majesty. Let there be a stock taking of the contents of the treasury at once. It is the practice to have a stock taking done every time a new king comes to the throne." There followed a thorough stock taking of the contents of the treasury. Sambu was such a careful treasurer that everything was in perfect order. The king was greatly pleased with his treasurer. As the party was leaving the treasury, one of the king's officers drew the attention of the king to a closed iron door in the wall which had not been opened. "Treasurer, what is in that recess in the wall? Why have not these things been accounted for?" demanded the king. Your Majesty, Sambu replied, they are my personal treasures. The king thought that his officers were right after all and that the treasurer must be a thief and a liar. At the king's command, the iron door in the wall was opened. What was the treasure hidden there? They were his old black shepherd's woolen rug, a pair of sandals, and the bamboo flute, which he had not had the time to play upon after coming to court. Your Majesty, when I was brought here by your noble father, I had nothing but these things. They were all my earthly possessions. What happiness they gave me, a happiness I no longer know. The old goatherd Sambu is dead beyond recall. The king was ashamed of his suspicions. He promoted Sambu for his perfect honesty. He made him one of his ministers. Sambu became a bosom friend of the king just like he had been to the king's father. So friends, now here is the important vocabulary from this story. This vocabulary is also added in the description box so you can copy and paste and keep in your records. Flattering मतलब खुशामद करना, praising excessively to gain favor or approval. Peddler मतलब फेरी वाला, a person who sells goods or wares, typically traveling from place to place. Sadhu, a Hindu holy man or ascetic. Amateurish, अनअभ्यासी, lacking professional skill or expertise. Native मतलब स्वदेशी, belonging to a particular place by birth or origin. Marveled, किसी अद्भुत चीज़ को देख के हैरान हो जाना, filled with wonder or astonishment. Lodge मतलब ठहराया गया, to be accommodated or housed in a particular place. Methodical मतलब व्यवस्थित, done in a systematic and orderly manner. Conspirators मतलब साजिश करता, people who plan and plot secretly, often for harmful purposes. Ill turn मतलब खराब, बदला लेना, an act of harm or injury towards someone. Diamond studded मतलब वज्र सहित, हीरे जड़ित, decorated or adorned with diamonds. Hilt मतलब the handle of a sword or knife. Transaction मतलब लेन देन करना, an instance of buying or selling something. Thorough मतलब विस्तृत, complete with attention to every detail. Recess मतलब छिद्र, a small space set back into a wall. Suspicions संदेह करना, feelings of doubt or mistrust towards something or someone. Promotion मतलब पदोन्नति होना, advancement to a higher position or rank मतलब promotion होना. Bosom friend मतलब खास दोस्त, very close and intimate friend. Enrich मतलब समृद्ध करना, to improve or enhance the quality of something. Inspiring मतलब प्रेरक, filling with the urge or ability to do something creative or great. So friends, I hope you like the story. If you like the story, please hit the bell icon, comment, like and share with your friends, and don't forget to subscribe the channel. Thank you.